Why, hello everybody, Lego Dude 11 here, and today is a brand new episode of my podcast called It's Raining Studs here on YouTube, and this is episode number 24. I know, I cannot believe it, this is episode number 24, and 24 weeks this has been going on, or at least 24 weeks. Again, I say that other times, like where the first episode was on a Sunday, then the next episode was 2 weeks after that, but I guess 25 weeks strong, and then the next week will be 26. Kind of like 26 weeks, because the first one was 2 weeks after. But regardless, I love making this, and I do have something to say about this podcast in another week. Next week will be the Christmas special, episode number 25. And I'm still debating on whether to do a finale, like a wrap-up finale, because I was actually going to have episode 25 be the last one. But then I kept thinking, why end it on the Christmas note? I want to end it like on a comeback the next week, which will be the new year week, and actually talk about what I plan to do for the next new year and my schedule going forward. Because I think that'd be kind of interesting, like to have like the finale be, hey guys, what do I want to do for this year? And I feel like I definitely want to do that. So today I'm going to talk about like what happened the past week and is coming up this weekend, because I feel like this weekend was basically the main stuff. Like I had stuff that happened this past week here, which was really big. New excitement for my channel personally. I think this episode is basically more stuff for my channel and stuff I do for YouTube, which is really exciting. Like this week / this current weekend is really exciting stuff happened, so really cool. So before we get into the topics here that I did write down, I did want to say again, continue my thought there. So again, next week is the Christmas one, and I want to have another episode 26 be the finale. And when I do have that, I will talk about where this podcast will go. Because I want to say right now, I will reiterate this in the finale, but I want to come back with this. I want to have this be like a branded thing, where I know other people have podcasts and stuff where, again, I was inspired to make this, and where I love the LEGO community, and I see other people like draw their own CMF figures and do artists, but I'm not one of those people. Again, I love artists, and I'm not saying I'm not one, but I'm more into music and making my own figures and building sets and reviewing and doing video editing, not really drawing my own figures. I'm not saying that's not a good hobby, and I love LEGO, and it's just not what I would get into. Drawing is not where I'm at. Like, I like artists, but I'm not an artist myself. I'm a musician artist, or I am a builder. So I'm a creator, not an artiste. But anyway, regardless, I want to make this my own thing, but I want to take a break from this next year, and I will say that again later in this. But I just wanted to give you that preempt there, and yeah. So let's get onwards. Let's move onwards and forwards with this. So yeah. Again, I will say that later. I just wanted to get that out to you because next year I have some other things I want to like keep in yeah. So I'm just kind of rambling here, but I'll mention that on the finale. So what happened first? I'm trying to decide. I'll keep the movie of the week. I'll keep the movie for later. I guess I don't know why I put that back, but so I guess what I'll start off by saying before we get off to the like next, I'm gonna like gradually go in order as to like what I think is like minuscule, and then gradually go like bigger in topics here. I don't really know like what's as big, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. On I think it was episode 23, or I'm trying to think what episode it was, what it was called. Not what it was called, what episode number it was. I think it was, because this is episode. No, this is episode number 24. So it was 21, I believe, was called My New Job, and going off of that, my new job, I got hired this week. So I know, very big news. next week will be, not next week, I am in the process of getting that started, so I will start that after the new year. And that's basically one of the reasons why I want to take a break with this, but I will come back with this later. But I'm really excited for that. Again, this has nothing to do, there will be no interference with this with my channel. I just want to make that aware. But I will have like 2 or 3 shifts a week, and which will be probably in the evenings or afternoon time. And again, another reason I want to take a break from this is because I want to focus on more of my weekends, and I want to do this forever. I mean, I want to continue this at some point. I just want to take a break and focus more on my daily life, and then continue this later. But I've had a lot of fun making this, but I want to continue with the other things, like Lego games, Lego things, reviews, and customs, and all that jazz. But I've had a lot of fun with this, don't get me wrong, but I want to continue this later where I know where I'm going. But I'll still keep you up to date with things that are happening. But yeah, my new job, I got hired for my job, and I will keep you up to date on when that starts and how that's going in later in the future of next year, so 2021. So yeah, that was the first thing that really happened. That happened last Monday. I think I called and to them, and they told me that I was hired and what all I would be doing, schedule that, and that won't happen until next month in January, but just that I need to fill out some paperwork and, you know, all that fun stuff there. So that happened, and so, yeah, the next thing, actually, I do want to grab this, so, I guess I'm going to just pop out for one quick second. Sorry about that. I wanted to grab this piece of paper that I will read in a bit here. It's not going to be the next topic, but I do want to have this on hand, so I will talk about this next. But let's talk about the new setup, because I did write this down, the new setup, and I will make a new, I guess, studio video, I guess, later for next year, because after Christmas is done, after the new year is done, or not done, after the new year hits, I do want to make a video talking about how my new setup is with my new lighting and camera. Funny enough, that's basically one of the topics, or this part of this topic, is my new setup. So I've been on a hunt for a new camera, and in that hunt, or I guess not, in that hunt, my parents were like, we were trying to get a new camera, and we were discovering like like how to focus in my my custom minifigures, and I actually forget how this all started, but we were like, let's get some lights for you. Oh, because I had my lamp, I had a lamp for my computer desk to shine on, and I took it down from my computer desk onto my Lego table where I film my videos and put it on there. It looked great, but it seemed too bright, so we got some smaller ones, and I'll show you them. I won't show you them now because they're plugged in, and I don't want to, like, all the wires, everything will go everywhere. But anyway, I'll make a video on that showing, like, my lights, which are very cool. I like them a lot. They're very handy, like, just move, and very portable to take places. That's handy for that too. They're not like big gigantic lights. They're just very nice portable size, small, medium-sized lights, and which is great. And we got 2 lights. There's 4 of them, so there's 2 still in the box that came with it. 2 of them, I kept those, but so I have the light set up for my figures display, my camera setup, and I don't have it turned on right now, because if I had it turned on me, it would be way too bright and I'd be blinded actually, so I don't want that on. So anyway, back to the camera thing. I got those lights, those work great, but I had gotten, the camera I have now just sits on the tripod okay, and it's not falling off, but it just doesn't sit right. Like if I put it on, if I scoot it a little back, the screw area where it sits on the tripod does not work well. So we were trying to look for a new camera. We bought one, but I realized it was a video camcorder, and that's not really what I wanted, because it doesn't focus well on the custom minifigure. So I was like, hey guys, like I talked to my mom, said, hey, this isn't what I want. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's look for something better that has a better focus lens. So we did, we got one, and got another one that actually had a flip screen, so if the screen like flipped so like a 100-degree angle. I don't know almost why I pushed my fingers back. My fingers don't flip that way, but the screen flipped 180 degrees, so it flipped like a whole way around, and that was fine. The lens, like in the description on Amazon, it showed a close-up image. Like the lens was like there came like a whole bunch of lenses, and last week I showed you that video camcorder. I showed you the camera. I showed you it came with a remote, and we're returning that. We're returning the second camera we got, which I'm not, again, I feel guilty getting those two. I didn't pay for them, my parents did, and we paid for a third one, so third time's the charm, I guess, but it worked. The third camera should be fine, because the reason it should be fine is because it's the same exact camera I currently have now, just in better condition. So I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I need. Why did I not think of that before? Because the reason I was like, my parents spent some money on this, but I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, no, it's not your fault. It's perfectly fine. This is what you need. So, or I guess that's not what I need. It's not essential to me, but for my videos it is. But in my head I'm going, I was thinking, I never considered to ask them or look up this camera, because I thought this camera didn't exist anymore. I thought it was like, I didn't think it existed. So I never thought of that, and now I'm like, I didn't even think to look that up. But anyway, it's on its way, and it should be here next Tuesday, or I guess in 2 days. I say next Tuesday because I'm recording this on Friday. So next Tuesday, but in 2 days from when this video is out. So yeah, that's exciting, and I cannot wait to start recording with that. Again, the camera I'm using now, this camera I have recording this video, records just fine. Or I say records just fine because sometimes it buffers and it stops. But there's just some like minuscule things about it. Like again, it sits on the tripod kind of janky, and there's like a little flap at the bottom is coming off, and the little thing like where the cord goes in is kind of falling apart. So I'm just like, let's get a new camera. And that's the whole thing that started this all, because like this camera is like 15, 20 years old, or even longer. Like my parents had this before I was born, so I'm like, let's get a new camera. It should be fine. And I have my new lighting set up, my new camera. That's great. So yeah, it's pretty much the story. So that's arriving on Tuesday, in about 2 days from now, from this video being uploaded, and I'll show you guys my whole setup. With everything, like once the camera's here, I'll show you the lighting, the camera, everything next year after the new year. So cannot wait to show that to you guys. But that's that story, and let's move on to the next topic. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So the next topic will be my Lego. If you guys are interested, here's some of the Lego topic that I have. So this week I actually went through on Amazon and Googled. I guess I Googled and then I looked up on Amazon some figures, but I guess I mainly Googled some. And I made this list here. I'm showing it to you in the camera. Once I try to get these videos on Spotify, you guys can't see this. If you're listening to this on Spotify eventually, you cannot see this. But I'm putting up a list of my minifig wish list, and this is pretty much what I came up with on my own, off the top of my head, and Googling what I would want in this foreseeable future here. And if you guys are curious what the list is, it's only like 18 figures here. The ones I would love to get in my hand, because I love minifig collecting. It's one of my favorite things of Lego. And these are CMFs that I don't have that I would love to purchase. So here they are. These are the ones I would love to get. Stitch. These are from the Disney series, Simpsons series, and a couple other ones. Stitch, Peter Pan, Hook, Captain Hook. Wait, why do I have Pan down twice? I don't know. I wrote Pan down twice. I'm not sure why I did. Weird. I don't know why I did that. Stitch, Pan, Peter Pan, Captain Hook, the Genie from Aladdin, Syndrome from The Incredibles, Itchy, Scratch, and then these are Simpsons, Itchy, Scratchy, Mr. Burns, Apu, Frank, Dr. Frank, Smithers, Comic Book Guy, Grandpa from The Simpsons, Ned Flanders, Millhouse, and then back to Disney, Cheshire Cat, Mad-Eye Moody from Lego Harry Potter series. I don't have him. Really wanted him because there's two different versions of him. And the Highwayman from Series 17. So those are the figures, 18 or 19 figures. I didn't count. I counted before this video, but I forget already. How many figures are figures that I would want to purchase? And I thought that was a great list because those are just figures that I think look so great that I don't have. There's also one figure, the dragon figure from Series 18, that I don't have that I think looks cool, but I looked it up on Amazon and it's like $18, and I'm like, I'm not picking up a figure for $18, so maybe it's $28. I know it ended in an 8, so I'm like, that's just expensive for a minifigure. But these ones I would love to purchase at some point, and I'll let you guys know what happens with this wish list. And again, if you're listening to that, if you're watching this and have a giveaway or something in this with these figures, let me know, and I would love to get this from you guys. If you're selling any of these, let me know in the comments below, and please tell me. So that's that topic out of the way, and let's move on to the next one. Alrighty guys, so the next topic here that we are going to talk about before we get on to the rest of the big topics for this episode, I'm going to do the movie of the week after this. So I have two topics about mini superheroes today, or by his real name he goes by Jonathan Pushkar. And so there's two things I have to talk about him. I mean, not about him specifically, but I'm going to make a video coming out this week. This Sunday, the day of this video actually is the day I am meeting him, not in real life, but face-to-face, one-on-one on a meet and greet. I am doing a meet and greet with him. There's 2 packages, and I'll tell you more about that on its own video, not on an It's Raining Studs video, because unfortunately I have not done this yet. So I'm recording this on a Friday night, so actually I cannot talk about that. I'm going to talk about it on its own video. But I just want to tell you guys I'm going to meet him. I'm meeting him today, the day of this that this is uploading. So that's great. I have some questions written down here. I'm going to be doing a tour of his Lego collection. We're going to be showing each other our Lego setup. It's great. I'm going to be asking him some questions about the Lego sets and figures and whatnot. So I'm excited for that. I'm so excited. Again, I'm recording this on a Friday night, so that's why I'm saying I'm excited for it, but the day I'm uploading this, I am doing it the day of. So that's why, if you're wondering the time frame, why am I saying I have not done it yet, but I'm doing it today that the video is being uploaded. So just for your guys' information. So that's happening. I'm doing a meet and greet with Jonathan Pushkar. He's actually my favorite Lego YouTuber, so that's why I'm doing it. I just love it. So I'm excited for that. That's happening. So let's get on to actually the second topic of let's get on to the second topic of mini superheroes today. So the second topic is actually, I did enter, I think I said this last week, I thought I already mentioned this, but I don't know where it was, a contest for Mini Superheroes Today Custom Minifigure Challenge. And I made a video on this, I forgot. I was like, where did I mention this? It was I made a video of this Kaminoan cloner from Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and I did not win. I was not in the top 3, but again, I entered a mock contest for Brick Attack for Greg, and I think mine was trash. My mock was incredibly trash, and I did get comments on last week. I don't know if I'll read them. I might read them. But this figure, I had lots of fun making this. I have lots of fun doing his, this is the second one he's done, and I have to say, I'm going to enter on every one, because I love making Pierce customs, I love doing them, I love when he does them, so I feel like I have lots of fun entering these contests. And again, I didn't get in the top 3, I did not win, but regardless, I had lots of fun making it. I had lots of fun taking the pieces and putting them together to make it look like the character. And I had fun making my own video. I linked his channel in the video and everything. So again, I had lots of fun making this. Go ahead and check out his video about this, and I cannot wait to enter more of these contests and see if I make it in the top 3, see if I get a shout out. Whenever I do, if I do make it in the top 3, I will let you guys know, and I'll drop all the links about everything. If I do make it in the top 3, if I do win, I'll drop the link, and whenever I do make it in a video, I'll just be blown away. But I cannot wait for the meet and greet, and I love doing the challenge that I did enter, and I hope you guys did enjoy that little video of the custom I made of the Chameleon Troper Cloner. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I am, I'm probably butchering it, but I don't even care. Anyway, that's the Mini Superheroes Today / Jonathan Pushkar topic. So those are those topics that happened this week. The minifigures Pierce minifigure challenge and the meet and greet. So let's get on to the movie in the week and the TV show of the week / for the past couple months. Yeah. So the movie of the week, so I did mention that the TV show update is going to be for the past couple months, and we'll get to that later. If you're confused about that, we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's get to the movie of the week, and this one's spontaneous. Like, again, I've said this, last week, on the last episode, the movie, or the couple movies I talked about were not The Simpsons, the Smurfs, and I just happened to watch those on Netflix, the first two Smurfs movies on Netflix, because they're on there, and I had seen the first one, and I was like, these are pretty cool, so let me check them out, and I love them, and, again, I talked about that. I didn't really get any comments about them, but again, I just like them. I think they're so heartwarming, so good, so funny, so creative, great in all sorts of ways. But this week, I did watch the Simpsons movie, and this is spontaneous. Like, this has no relevance to any particular thing coming out. Like, there's no Simpsons thing coming out or anything like that. I guess there are Simpsons episodes coming out regularly every week, but I just happened to watch it because I was like, I love the Simpsons movie. In general, this was the second time I had seen it. I watched it earlier this year. I had seen it with my dad about a couple years or so ago. Then this year, I watched it in springtime, and then I watched it just this past week. So I love the movie. I love the Simpsons TV show in general. I'm not currently up to date. I've seen like all the way up to season 6 and stopped. Not for like because it was getting boring, but just because I wanted to do other things. I wanted to watch other shows. I'm like, I love Simpsons. I think it's funny. But I'm like, there's so much that I just want to continue it later. And I wanted to watch other shows, which I did. Which I was, like, happy about. I watched Doom Patrol. I watched all these other shows. And I'm like, yes! Because not The Simpsons was getting boring again. But I just wanted to, like, move it to later. So, again, I watched the Simpsons movie. This was the third time I had seen it. But there wasn't really anything in particular I wanted to talk about. I just, again, love this movie. If you don't know, I'm not really going to spoil anything. The main premise is Homer. Springfield has a lake pollution crisis, and Homer accidentally pollutes the lake after they say, don't stop dumping stuff in the lake. And which I think is hilarious, because I think the whole premise is hilarious, because one of the reasons, like, I was talking about this with my one friend, and he's like, what do you think is better, the show or the movie? And he's like, well, the show, but not better, but like funnier. And he goes, the show. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. But I think what makes the movie so funny is that Homer, again, in the show and the movie, Homer is just kind of stupid. He's not stupid in the wrong way. I mean, he does make some of the wrong choices, but he tries to be good. He tries to love. I mean, he loves his family in different ways, but sometimes he just makes these dumb, stupid choices. And going off of that, for instance, he dumps the pollution in his lake. Dumps something in his lake. Again, I won't say what it is, just because if you haven't seen the movie. But he pollutes the lake, and it's just funny to see, like, that he does it, and then the whole town gets angry at him for doing this one, it's not minuscule, but just doing this terrible thing that he's done, like, to their town, and makes them go into apocalypse mode, or, is that right? Apocalypse? Yeah, apocalypse mode, later. It just reminds me of all these movies, because SpongeBob had a movie that they went into apocalypse mode, and, the Lego movie had an apocalypse mode, and the Simpsons movie has an apocalypse mode. So I'm just like, oh my god, all these, like, awesome franchises have their own apocalypse mode. Like, I love the Lego movie, I love SpongeBob, and the Simpsons is funny as well. Like, how do all of these things, how about an apocalypse mode? Like, what are the odds of that? But I'm just like, yeah, it's great, and I love, what's the other thing I'm trying to think of? Spider Pig. I love Spider Pig. Spider Pig. Spider Pig. He's great. Or if you don't want to call him Spider Pig, just call him Harry Plopper. So yeah, those are great, and the movie's great in general. I mean, the cast is phenomenal, and I don't even know what else I have to talk about it. It's just, I love the whole premise throughout, and you got Itchy and Scratchy in the beginning. You have the president as Von Schwarzenegger. I think it's supposed to be McBain, but it's actually Schwarzenegger, which is really funny. And it's just everything about it just brings like the show into a movie. I mean, obviously because it's a Simpsons movie, but there's just so many things I could talk about it. And I don't really know what else to talk about. Because I came into this thinking, not that I had so many things, but just I don't want to spoil a lot, even though it's been out for years. I don't want to spoil too much, and there's things like inappropriate things, because there's like something at the end, even though it's not like there's not a lot of sexual stuff. It's just I don't want to say, like, I don't want to get demonetized, or I don't want to say something and be like, why did you say that? But seriously, I mean, go watch the Simpsons movie. You'll get a laugh out of it. If you don't know if you've never heard of the Simpsons or seen the Simpsons, okay, let me say that again. If you've never heard of The Simpsons, who are you and what planet are you on? Second off, if you've not seen any of The Simpsons, go watch this. It's a great laugh, and I think you'd enjoy it. But yeah, if you've never seen The Simpsons, I don't know who you are and what planet you're on. But yeah, I really, honestly, again, just from that, I love the whole premise. I think it's great. I think a lot of it's funny. I love all the characters, and yeah, like again, I don't want to say too much just in case you have not seen it. Funny enough, going off of that, so yeah, that's my Simpsons movie. That's what I watched, the movie of the week there. Funny enough, saying that I don't want to say a whole lot and spoil too much, but the next thing is the show of the week, or the show collab, which is The Mandalorian Season 2. I'm going to be talking about Season 2, not Season 1. I didn't talk about Season 1 a whole lot, but I'm just going to be talking about Season 2 and a whole cram bunch here. So, yeah, let's do that, shall we? And again, I said with the Simpsons movie how I didn't want to spoil and say a whole lot, and this, I don't know how I'm going to keep my spoils in, so if I do say something that might slip out, you might not want to watch the rest of this episode, which I feel terrible. Well, I'm going to keep this spoiler-free for about a few minutes, and then go off into my spoiler, because I want to say stuff that you guys would want to hear. So if there's people who have not seen the latest episode, or any of Season 2 at all, I guess leave and then watch the whole season. But if you've not seen the latest episode, go watch it real quick, come back, and then hear what I have to say. But I'm going to be talking about the whole thing. So, first off, no spoilers. I absolutely loved it. I guess as did everyone. I mean, that's the perfect way to start it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Is it better than the first season? That's really debatable. I think it is, because it introduced new characters to us. It introduced new characters. It brought back a few old characters, and it had a lot of great action sequences. There were some episodes that were more side quests than usual, but I think that they were definitely in there for part of the story, and then they allowed the new characters to come in, new characters to pop out, and they added some characters, just added characters like new aliens and so forth, and then just went on to the next episode, and then, hey, here's Mando, he's going on his quest, and he's going on. So I think that was great. I think that's great. Again, same with the first season. You have Mando finding this character, finding, like, Queel, for example. This is the way, or I have spoken, and going off and doing his own thing. So doing his own thing with the Jawas, like in the first episode, and then, or in the first couple episodes, and then going off and IG-11, like IG-11, they fought with IG-11 in the first episode. The next episode was I Have Spoken guy with Queel, and then, it just goes off from there, introducing the next character. So, similar thing with this season, where, they introduced these brand new characters, which I loved, and they went on different side quests. Then they had things that related to the story. I mean, everything connected and whatnot. But I think it was just great to go along with that. They introduced new, like, villains and so forth that were great, that we have not seen in the movies before. So that was really cool to see that. And I just loved it as a whole. So that was pretty cool. Again, one of the other things that I would mention, spoiler-free, is that they explored new planets, which is always great to see in Star Wars lore, because I love new planets. whereas The Last Jedi just stunk, in my opinion, for new planets because they only visited 2. But I won't get into that. I rant so much about that. It just, in general, I just rant so much about The Last Jedi, about new planets. But anyway, so yeah, we got new planets, we got new people, and I don't really know where else to go from there about spoiler-free stuff. So if you guys would not mind to pause or leave, and I am going to get into the spoiler section of this. So if you've not seen any of The Mandalorian, tap out now and go watch it. Go watch the entire season, then come back. Or if you have seen some of the episodes, if you've not seen the latest episode, go watch that and then come back. Alright, if you have done that, thank you, and we're going to get into it. And again, I just give you a warning, like, if you're that stupid, I hate to say it, but if you're that stupid and don't, like, if you listen to this, if you want to listen to this, go ahead, but if you listen to this and like, why did you spoil something, that's on you, not me. So, I gave you a warning, and I feel like I did my part on that. So, we're going to go into it. We're going to go into the first episode. I probably should actually Google what the episodes were, right? I think that would be the best thing to do, because I am going to forget, honestly. The first episode actually had Cobb Vanth, and what I think about episode 1 was I loved it. I love the introduction of Cobb Vanth coming in and introducing us to the original Boba Fett armor. I think that was so cool to see his armor introduced with a different character who wasn't a bounty hunter per se, but he was trying to act like a good person. He didn't act like a bounty hunter. He just acted towards this god. I don't say god, but like this idol of the village where he was, and for the, not the Tusken Raiders, but the on Tatooine, and for this village where he was, and which was really cool to see that. And so Cobb Vanth was cool. The Mandalorian and Cobb Vanth team up was great. Where they fought off that like thing in the Sarlacc pit, that sandworm. I can't remember the name of the creature. It was 8 weeks ago, guys. So that creature, they fought off that. I thought that episode was great, like how they teamed up fighting that. I loved that episode a lot. It wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but it was a great season premiere. It was a great starter. Next one, with the Frog Lady, was a nice side quest. Then again, I mentioned how there was a bunch of side quests. I thought that episode was great with the Frog Lady, a new alien character, going along with Mandalorian, going off with the Razor Crest, shipwrecked, into this cave where they had to fight off a whole bunch of spiders and giant spider. I love seeing new creatures in Star Wars lore. Great seeing that. And again, that was great. I'm gonna have to look up what all the episodes were. Season 2 episode list. Alright, so here we go. 9, the Marshal, the Passenger, the Harris, which we are introduced to Bo-Katan. And Bo-Katan, I don't know, whatever way you want to say it, Bo-Katan. But the Harris, we got introduced to Bo-Katan, and I love seeing her in live action. One of the coolest things was seeing her in live action was that the live action character actress voiced her in the Clone Wars, so that was great to see that. I loved seeing her crew help Mandalorian in that. Just that whole episode with the crew helping out Mandalorian was great. Love that. I couldn't ask for anything more about that episode because I love Bo-Katan in Clone Wars, so seeing her in live action was great. The Siege, I cannot remember what that one was about. What was it? The Mandalorian and the child must make a stop of their voyage. They meet two. Oh, yeah. So this one, The Siege, was more like of a side quest, the biggest side quest, I feel, of the whole entire episode. They basically, again, as I'm reading here, the Mandalorian and the child must make a stop on their voyage to have the ship repaired. So they have the ship repaired on Tatooine, or not even Tatooine, it was some other planet. They meet two old allies, which are Greef Karga and Cara Dune. And the Mandalorian helps them with the mission to destroy an Imperial outpost. So that's their mission there. And again, I like them with Greef Karga and Cara Dune helping them out. I love those characters, and there was also the character from the Mythrol from the very first episode of The Mandalorian coming back, who was frozen in carbonite, so I love seeing him again. He was a cool character. Again, an old character from the first season. I like seeing him in this one. It wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but it was a nice side quest, just a great action sequence. There wasn't a whole bunch of action sequences, but the next one was called The Jedi, which had a great action sequences, which did introduce Ahsoka. Like right off the bat, we saw Ahsoka, played by Rosario Dawson, who's great, and I cannot wait to see her in her own show. And I will talk more about all the Star Wars shows when they do come out and when I get the chance to. Yeah, I love seeing Ahsoka's appearance. Her helping out Mandalorian was great. Like talking about Baby Yoda, also known as Grogu. We do learn that Baby Yoda has a name now. Woo! We know his name finally. But yeah, the Jedi. I couldn't ask for anything more about the Jedi episode. Like live action Ahsoka. We have live action Ahsoka and live action Bo-Katan in season 2, so that was great to see. I just loved the Jedi episode, and yeah, and the 14th episode was called The Tragedy. The Tragedy, which I heard lots of people say this was their least favorite episode. Like it was not least favorite. Like some of my mom's friends were like, this episode was so scary because, you know, the Death Troopers come in and just take Baby Yoda, and then at the end, Moff Gideon is like antagonizing him with the dark saber, and it was like so creepy, so scary to see Baby Yoda in that scene. But I actually liked it. I loved in this episode. They go to a ancient Jedi temple, and Baby Yoda connects with the Force to connect with a Jedi, and just Mando can't communicate with him when he's inside this force field. And then you see Slave One come in, Boba Fett and Fennec Shan from the first season, an old character comes back, and Boba Fett and Fennec Shan help out Mandalorian, take down a bunch of stormtroopers. Imperial ships come down, and they just go off into this big action sequence, and it was so great to see this, because this was the biggest action sequence of, I think, season 2 that I thought. I mean, this was biggest time, and Boba and Fennec Shan just go into action, and like nobody's business, like taking everybody down, all the stormtroopers, because they suck at their aim. Their armor stinks. Just doesn't work. But yeah, I love that episode. I think I don't know what my favorite one. Probably the Jedi, and the Marshal was good, but I think the Jedi and, well, anyway, we're going to continue. The Believer was to move against the Empire. I think the Jedi and the season finale are my favorite episodes, but the Believer episode, chapter 15, to move against the Empire, the Mandalorian needs help of an old enemy. So actually, he goes to Bill Burr's character. I forget his name in the show. I'm actually forgetting it. He went to this prison. He was in one of the episodes of the original one. Let me see if I can find his name. No, I can't. But anyway, he goes to this prison to recruit one of the characters from I think it was chapter 6, I think. And he recruits a guy who went to prison, and this Star Wars prison, and he rescued him, not rescued him, but he took him to help out, to go to the Empire, and like go rescue Baby Yoda, to go get the plans, go find the what's that word? Go find the like map to where Moff Gideon's ship is. Moff Gideon is the bad guy, and they got the plans. They found the map, like where he was headed, like where his freighter was, and the old enemy helped out Mando and kind of became his friend in the end of that episode. So it was cool to see that, and so that was what that episode was. Again, if you've not seen the season, go check it out. It was great. and that episode was cool. I want to see like what the names were of these characters in a second, but I do want to look up. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm looking up the cast right now. So we have Din Djarin. The Mythrol is who I mentioned before. I'm trying to see who all these characters were. This is all Season 1, and I really don't care about Season 1. I mean, I do care about Migs Mayfield. Mayfield is the character who I was talking about. Mayfield, who was in Chapter 6, who's played by Bill Burr. And, yeah, those were all the characters they mentioned. So, Mills Mayfield was the character. And, so, yeah, and this last episode was Chapter 16. Chapter 16 called The Rescue, and the finale was just, I think, my favorite. The Jedi and the finale, I think, were my favorite because in the finale, again, this is the biggest spoiler, so get out now if you have not seen this yet, but this was just the best, I think, finale that they did with bringing the Jedi in, called Luke Skywalker, played by Max Lloyd, I think was his name. Luke Skywalker. Max Lloyd Jones is who plays him. And he did great. And they did credit Mark Hamill in the credits for him because they had to give credit for this character, and then again it was just great to see him in the finale. Mandalorian teams up with Cara Dune, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, and Bo-Katan, and Bo-Katan's like female assistant. I can't remember her name. I couldn't remember. The other Mandalorian, like the male and the female companion to Bo-Katan in the season, I absolutely could not remember their names because like they were so minuscule characters, and I've said that word probably like 3 times in this episode, but I could not remember their names for the life of me because they're just like, oh, we don't talk. I mean, they talked, but it was like they never mentioned those characters, so it was just kind of like they were random characters thrown in there. So it was like, oh, and I forgot to mention, rest in peace to the Razor Crest that did get destroyed in the tragedy episode, which was, I guess, one of the tragedies that had happened in that episode. And also, I forgot to mention the egg, the pod to the Baby Yoda, which I guess is kind of, like, doesn't matter at this point, did get destroyed, because that was kind of like a cool thing that held Mandalorian, kind of like his cradle, but it got destroyed. That got destroyed, and also the Razor Crest, like, rest in peace, Mandalorian objects, or, like, vehicles, man. So yeah, I mean, I love that episode, like, how Mandalorian teamed up, how Mandalorian had an awesome fight scene with, had a little battle with Moff Gideon in the finale. Mandalorian had a little fight with one of the Death Troopers. We got to see them in action. Like, walking down the hallway, they punched, like, that door, that metal door. They almost thought they were gonna like have a battle, and I didn't know what was gonna happen until Luke Skywalker flew his X-wing in there. You saw the X-wing fly in, and then you saw him just going all bonanza on the Death Troopers, like bonkers, like crazy, man. And like, oh, freaky, bro. I don't know. It sounded like a Hawaiian dude, like, oh man. But just going all out with the green lightsaber, woo. And then, you know, you see him, like, do the Force and all sorts of things, like, in this epic moment, like, it was kind of like slow-mo shot, and, everything about it was great. Then you see him pop and open the door, and Mandalorian's just holding the baby there, waiting for him, you know, and he takes off his, he stands there, like, Baby Yoda's like, I don't want to go, like, and then, you know, Din Djarin, Mandalorian, takes off his helmet, reveals his face to Baby Yoda for the very first time ever, and is like, go with Luke. I mean, he doesn't know it's Luke Skywalker, but we know it's Luke, and in our hearts, we're just so impressed. I mean, so bewildered and love him. And R2-D2 comes in as well, who make an appearance, and it's just so great. That ending was so touching. But it ends there with Luke leaving. We might see Grogu later, Baby Yoda. We might see him later. We might see Luke probably come back. I've heard that he could come back with Baby Yoda talking to Mandalorian, but we don't know. We don't know until next year. But the premise probably next season will be Mandalorian and the Darksaber with Bo-Katan and her crew and whatnot, going more into deeper Mandalorian Darksaber lore. But that was not it. After the credits roll for about a minute or so, then you see an end credits scene with Boba Fett. It pops up on Tatooine, and Jabba the Hutt's palace. Jabba's not there. Bib Fortuna is there, who has gained a little bit of weight. Kind of seems like a new Jabba. Kind of like Jabba-ish. Kind of got bigger, a little heavier. And you see him, you see some shooting going on, and you see Fennec Shan walk in, and then actually Boba follows in, and all the people run away or scared by that, and you see Bib Fortuna say, "Oh, Boba, I thought you were dead," and then like alien dialect. Say, "Oh, I thought you were dead. I heard rumors about this." And then Boba shoots Bib Fortuna, and he takes over the throne where Jabba used to sit, where Bib Fortuna was sitting. He takes over the throne, and this epic music plays, like, boom, boom. I can't even remember. It was just epic music for Boba, and that ended right there on a cool little cliffhanger. Not for next season of Mandalorian, however, a new TV show coming December 2021 called The Book of Boba, which will be its own show about Boba Fett, which might explore how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, which I would be excited to see how that happens. But that was the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I hope you guys did enjoy my little review there. That was, like, I just loved everything about that finale. It was fantastic how they wrapped that up, how they had that little end credit scene for The Book of Boba. I cannot wait to see that. I cannot wait to see what they do for Season 3. And again, my favorite episodes would be the Jedi and the finale. And again, the Marshall episode was great too. I loved that beginning episode. I loved the second one with the spiders, kinda. I liked that era. I liked the Harris where they introduced Bo-Katan, and I liked the tragedy one because it introduced Boba Fett and whatever. The Believer was kind of cool, bringing back Bill Burr's character Mayfeld, but it was okay. I mean, and in the episode The Believer, they did have the pirates from the Clone Wars. Pirates came in there. I love seeing the pirates, the little battle between the pirates. But all of that being said, I love the Mandalorian show. I cannot wait where they go in the Season 3. But there are some comments from last week's episode, and it's getting a little long here. But I do want to read. I do want to read these comments. So before we end this episode, we are going to go into comment portion, one quarter portion. So last week was into the Lego Dudeverse, and I got 6 comments. So I'm just going to talk about them real briefly here. Fortified Bricks, I got 2 people that commented, and I will read them here. Fortified Bricks, said, wow, that was a long intro. And then he goes, damn, that was an epic intro, though. And I did reply and say, thanks so much, because I just wanted to make that intro for you guys because I was talking about Into the Spider-Verse and really wanted to get that out to you guys. Please skip trial. Just like the Into the Spider-Verse movie, I just wanted to make it like that, so I did do that. But thank you for replying and saying, wow, that was a long intro, and he thought it was a really good, epic intro. Fortified did go and say, what mock did you make? And he said, your opinion if you want to get the Sesame Street set. Yeah, I asked that last week if I wanted to about getting the Sesame Street set. I don't think I'm going to get it right now. I think I'm going to wait a little while and see like what MCU sets come out next year and wait for that, because I'm going to try to go to the store. I went to the store yesterday, but again, I'm going to go into the store tomorrow, but I did yesterday because of the video timeline, to see if they have CMF Series 21 and the Boba Fett set early. so I can get those, and I'm going to wait for the Sesame Street set probably later. What MOC did I make? I made like a little Christmas winter village scene with some minifigures, trying to make the best one that I could, but I only have like 2 upvotes. I don't think I'm going to win, because it's just not the best MOC. I'm not the best at making MOCs. I'm better at doing the custom minifigures thing. So those were all the comments from Fortified Bricks, because I'm just not the best at making MOCs. I think it was trash in my own opinion, but I tried to do the best with what I could out of the pieces I had still in my collection, so there you go. And Will, my friend Will, that's not what I'm reading. I'm reading Mike Ryan, but that's the wrong account, so I'm reading actually Will's comment. So that's Will. I'm reading his comment. Hope you do enjoy that. How about Lego Dude into the Lego Dude verse? And I have to be honest with you, I'm reading this comment right now, and I don't really understand that comment, but I try to understand it as well as I can. And what I'm getting out of that comment is, how about Lego Dude into the Lego Dude verse? Like, I try to understand it, but I'm just like, my mind is lost, and you're gonna have to tell me what you mean by that. So anyway, those are all the comments. I don't want to like ramble or anything. So those are all the comments, and he can let me know what he means by that later, which we're actual friends, so we can talk about that in real life. So anyway, guys, those are all the comments. Those are all the topics. I hope you guys did have a blast with this today. I sure did, and I cannot wait for next week, which is Christmas. And I will read all the comments. Whatever you leave, I will read next week. So even though it won't be Christmas related, I'll still read them. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode with Mandalorian review. All my other topics I did talk about here today. Don't forget to leave a like. Stay tuned for my Pushcar mini superheroes today meet and greet review coming later this week. Leave a like, subscribe, follow me over on Instagram as well. You can watch these on Spotify if they're ever there. Share these videos with your family and friends. You can leave a like on these videos. Share these videos with your family and friends. Go support me anywhere you can. Go follow me over at Instagram at BobaFettJMaster. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe down below, follow me, and as always, don't forget to keep calm and play Lego. I'll see you guys next week in the next It's Raining Studs podcast episode for episode number 25, the Christmas special. Peace out, everyone. Bye.